Good day everyone. I, Dr. Nidhi Mathur, Area Chair Human Resources and Entrepreneurship at IMT Center for Distance Learning, welcomes you to this panel discussion on developing entrepreneurial mindset to create value. Developing entrepreneurial mindset is essential for success in today's fast-paced, ever-changing business world. An entrepreneurial mindset involves adopting a specific set of attitude, behavior, and habits that enable individuals to identify opportunities, take calculated risk, and innovate to create value. We will have an enriching discussion on this topic. Before that, let me introduce our panelists to you. Our panel consists of experts from various fields, and I'm really excited to hear their unique perspectives on this topic. I hope this discussion will be insightful and thought-provoking for both our panelists and audience alike. So thank you for joining us, and let's get started. I'll first introduce my panelists with you. I have Mr. Sumit Mohan Saxena. Mr. Sumit, he is BE in Industrial Electronics, complemented by Masters in Business Management. He has got 28 plus years of massive experience in telecom industry. He has worked in different domains, including sales and operations, marketing and business development, strategy planning, distribution management, and relationship management. His journey as a skillful and successful leader transfers through the renowned telecom giants including MTS, Airtel, and Tata Telecom. Then I have Mr. Sabar Tausif. He is CEO, Ilios Healthcare. Mr. Tausif has a dynamic social entrepreneur with a strong background in management consulting and financial services. As the founder of Ilios Healthcare, he is dedicated to enhancing operational effectiveness and quality of care. Sabar's expertise extends to rural development, where he empowers undeserved communities and drives positive transformations. His strategic thinking, exceptional communication skills, and commitment to social change make him a valuable catalyst for sustainable development. Then I have with me Mr. Hani Charnelia. Hani, he is founder and technical director, RIU Global Management Services. Hani has more than 10 years of experience, and he has led 10 plus large-scale LTE rollouts. He has proven communication and relationship management skills in cross-functionals and cross-cultural endorsement. And he has delivered 6,500 plus training hours globally and catered to more than 70 organizations in his domain. So I welcome you all to this panel discussion, and I hope we are going to have an enriching discussion. We will hear a lot of your experiences about how you have created value with your entrepreneurial ventures. So, Mr. Saxena, let me ask from you, can you share some of the example of a time when you identified a business opportunity or problem and took the initiative to create value through an entrepreneurial mindset?
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest opportunity comes from the, first you look at your existing customers. So if I recall my past experience, we ran a BPO company wherein we were running call center campaign for one of our customer. So we saw the opportunity there that they are consuming a lot of text and voice messaging services. So we got into those kind of services. We invested money and developing those kind of platforms and started rendering those services to our existing customers. And then in recent past, the same set of customers, now we are looking at big call center solutions kind of opportunities wherein we hire team, technical team, develop these kind of products. Cloud contact center solution is the latest offering which we have come up with, and we are selling to the our existing customers, and that's how we saw the business opportunity within the given set of customers, and we are reaping the benefits out of it.
Great. So Mr. Tausif, let me ask from you, because your area is more towards the social sector. So problems we all know what are there in social sector, but how did you find out an opportunity within that?
See, lot of people are dealing in and around the same business which we are doing, but largely with the large clientele and all. So our startup and idea to start is giving the same services, the quality services, into either into healthcare or into any other services, the quality services to the last people in the country is very, very important for us.
Yes.
And it's something which is not just related to your money or income, but also it's very, very close to my heart and coming from there only. So everywhere you can find the business opportunity, and definitely we are also dealing whenever we are giving services, we are charging something and we make some business out of it. But it's also serving to the people and giving back to the community whatever we got since I have worked. So it's really a great thing to do, and I am really proud to work. And now we are going to on a scale, and that's really encouraging because I can see a lot of potential across the country, largely in the rural area where lot of untapped business are. So, and very interesting area in terms of business, in terms of innovation. You will see lot of people, those who are capable enough to manage lot of things in the rural area, but they are not getting the opportunity just because of the opportunity is not there. So this is what we are trying to bridge the gap and trying to get the business done at that stage.
Quite impressive, quite impressive. Now, let me ask you, Mr. Hani, so where did you see the problem and how?
So I started working somewhere in 2008 when this managed services business was coming just in the telecom industry. So how it used to happen is that there was a cross hiring used to be the only way of sustaining and doing the managed services. And we find the opportunity that after some time the skills of the hired resources will become obsolete because the time will come when the softwares are going to upgrade, when the technologies are going to upgrade. So that is where we find the opportunity is there that the managed services are happening, right? So for example, a customer Airtel is using the equipments from Nokia, but the managed services are done by some other company, right? So we find this opportunity to convert this into a profitable business of providing the multi-vendor training solutions. So we sit together, created intensive courses on various technologies and various domains and various vendors, and that is how this whole idea of doing the training and consulting into cross-vendor and multi-vendor domain actually started.
Yeah, great, nice to hear from you. Now, we all understand that mindset is very important. And, how do you face the challenges? It all depends on your mindset. So, Mr. Tausif, let me ask you, what is the mindset that you really require when you are facing some kind of challenges? Because we need to tell our audience that, with this type of an mindset, you can really venture into something.
See, being an entrepreneur, you are actually dealing with the challenges only. And you are actually dare to do something beyond your comfort area. That's why you are entrepreneurs. And it's really easy to handle if you really think through. And if once you agree on it, if you have some product, you are willing to work on that. So let's start and start early as soon as you can. And it will really help you in dealing the challenges and facing the initial teeth breathing issue and all this stuff. So I think for us also it was really challenging to serve on a cost which was in terms of value it was very nominal, but at the same time we were supposed to deliver the high quality things in the sector of either into healthcare or skilling or anything. So I started, and gradually people have started joining me, and some sort of help also came through different things. And also there are so many government schemes at present era, so we can definitely leverage those schemes to handle the initial challenges and some sort of capital requirements. You can get a lot of support from government as well.
Great. So start early. I think that's
Yeah.
what is the mantra that you have followed while facing the challenges. So Mr. Saxena, what do you want to tell to our audience that, what kind of mindset they should have to, face the challenges, which are bound to, be in place?
Definitely.
Yes.
So, when you talk about the challenges or the setback, I am the living example. So, let me share you one interesting fact that the business for which I left my job and put in my money, opened my office and everything, that business did not come to me. So that was a big setback in the initial days only, and we had choice to go back to job, continue as it is, but we carried never say die attitude. So that's something which is required most, and we believe in breaking bridges when we move forward. So we don't carry any return ticket as such. So we decided to pursue other businesses, and we succeeded. So that's how the attitude is required. Never get yourself demotivated, and believe your capabilities, and you are there.
So you have a living example in front of you that setbacks are bound to happen. Don't lose your track. Never have a return ticket. That's what you can, we have understood from Mr. Saxena's experience. Now, Honey, what has been your, what do you want to share with our audience regarding the mindset?
Most of the points are already well covered, but I would say, the attitude which an entrepreneur or a CEO should always have is that he should look every single challenge as an opportunity. For us, if challenge is there, that is the only reason of our existence, right?
Yes.
So every single challenge, and specifically I'm telling you for the new entrepreneur and those people who are trying to get into the businesses, right? Understanding and identifying a problem is actually actual leverage for you to get into the business, right? Because there is a problem and you could see that there is a probable solution also for that problem that you have. So that is actually a bigger opportunity for you rather than any challenges. But small challenges may keep on coming. So you should be looking them, how learn from those, and always keep an attitude of the problem solving, right? So the final solution or the final outcome has to be always there in your mind, right? So which is also called as the vision that you want to keep it. So what is the final outcome that you're looking for? Because as an entrepreneur, most of the time you don't even know where will you get and how will you get it. But as long as you know the final destination that is clear in your mind, all the other things you can always build up, right?
Yes, yes.
Because there is no way you will find a final solution for everything, right? You have to find it out. You will find challenges. Those challenges will make you a better person every single time, right? So just keep your vision right and just go for it, right? Take the first step and you will be able to make it.
So what we call in Hindi, manzil हमें पता होनी चाहिए कि हमें कहाँ जाना है.
Right.
So if you are aware of the manzil, then रास्ते तो अपने आप खुद ब खुद बन जाते हैं, right? So we have heard about calculated risk. A lot has been talked about calculated risk should be taken, or you have to always take care of the risk that you should be taking in your business. Now, a question can come in the budding entrepreneur's mind that how are you going to assess these calculated risks? So, Mr. Saxena, could you tell us something about that? How do you assess these risks, and then you calculate it and then you take the decision?
See, leaving a high-paying job, I was at a deputy director position when I quit my job in 2013 with so much of liabilities of housing loan, EMIs, and children education, all those things. So leaving that job and coming to business, that itself was a big risk I took, but that was definitely a calculated risk I took. And when you talk about the assessing the risk, basically you need to see the opportunity and you need to map that opportunity against the your capabilities. So if you find synergy between these two, just go for it. That's my take on that.
हाँ. Mr. Tausif, what is your understanding of calculated risk and how have you assessed it? Because for you it was a social sector and it's a mammoth. So how have you assessed the risk?
Before coming to this, I have started a couple of other enterprise. I've tried and successfully failed into it. And I'm really happy to it because every failure actually gives you lot of learnings, and for that you will have to pay. That's it. And if you are ready for it, then I don't think there are any issues. If you are aware that whatever you are going to deliver, it may not be interested or interesting for others. So if you have some product and if you really own that, if you value your product, if you think your innovation has something and you are solving some issues in and around it, as you rightly said, please go for it. And please try. Better not to try like आपको कभी लगेगा कि आपने शुरू ही नहीं किया. So उससे बेहतर है, please start and let's do it. You will get lot of friends who will help you. And there are people who is ready to invest in the current business. Even बहुत अच्छा environment है अभी. Investor are really keen to have some good business, and definitely would be good opportunity for them. And for the newcomers, it's really great time to start.
Great, great. So, Mr. Charnalia, what is your take on this calculated risk and how have you assessed it? Because leaving a job again, as the case of both of the other panelists, leaving a job and starting something. So, what kind of assessments have you done?
So I would, take my father's take on this, right? He always says that there is always a right time to get into the business, but there is always a bad time. There is a bad time that you should not enter into the business, and that time is when you are actually desperate of money, desperate of fame. If you are in any form of desperation, that is actually the time when you should not be into the business, right? Because as you said, failures are bound to happen, right? You are going to be learning from the failures over the period of time, right? And if you feel demotivated right from the beginning itself, it will not be good for your overall journey, right? So start when you are not in a desperate situation. At least from the financial side, you should be secure enough that you will be able to sustain at least for a year or so, right? Being this, we are coming from, I'm telling you from my background, you come from a middle class or even a lower middle class family where you have a mediocre mindset, where you are being taught to study well so that you can get a high paying or a better job. Once you are in a job, it is not your responsibility to take too many loans and put yourself into a burden that if you leave 1 month and you're not having any kind of support. So I took a calculated risk only once I have a good house and a car and everything, and I'm taken care of, then only I started. So I initially started doing the moonlighting and then eventually started doing consulting and then started doing freelance consulting, and then when the freelance consulting become bigger enough that I could feel okay, the job is not required anymore, that is the time when I decided, okay, let's start something of our own and get into that. Right? Because this is something which I always this is being taught to us not from now, from a very long time, that you should get into a job and secure your life, right? Because our parents and the overall ecosystem don't want us to fail, and that is where I think is a bigger bottleneck for any kind of entrepreneurial journey, right? So be prepared.
Yes, calculated risk in terms of be ready for the failure. So these are very important points for the budding entrepreneurs. Now, can you explain the importance of innovation and creativity in developing an entrepreneurial mindset and how it contributes to value creation? So, Mr. Tausif, let me ask you how it has created value, innovation and creativity.
See, it's completely depend what you exactly looking for. Either you are into a product or you are dealing with services, but innovation always very important for the new businesses, because you should be something either completely different, or at least you are doing differently, so that people can adopt your product and offer for your services. So this innovation, it should not be like completely new thing and you are coming up with the completely new thing, but if you are doing also differently is very important.
Very
And
important.
people are looking for good services and good quality of product at their they are looking for easy access and all. So if you are offering something which serves some purposes, or you are able to address any issues in and around anything, that's really help to. And it's more than enough if you are addressing any small issue, or you are solving any small thing, that's also equally important than if you are creating
And
something,
altogether a different beast. Yeah.
altogether a different piece.
Yeah. So very right and very thoughtful that it is all about, you don't need a totally different product or so,
True.
but doing it in a different way can also lead to better
True.
things. So let me ask you, Mr. Saxena, how this innovation and creativity has helped in your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you, today's customer is very smart and aware. So he is more interested in WIFM. When you talk about WIFM, it's what's in it for me.
Yeah.
That's what customer wants to know, and he doesn't want to listen what you are doing. He wants to listen what differently you are doing, how you are better than others. So definitely you should continuously strive towards creating that differentiation. So how you are better than the other. So that is what your innovation, the focus on innovation and creativity should always remain to create more value for the customer and creating that differentiation.
I completely agree with you. Like, every time if I also have to buy something or, take any services, I will always look for that how it is catering to my needs.
Yeah.
So that is really an important thing. So Mr. Honey, how about you? Like, do you think that your innovation and creativity has created value?
Definitely, it has created value. And for me, innovation doesn't really mean that we have to do R&D or
Yes,
to create something which was not even aware. Sometimes there are some basic things which anybody would be expecting, right? And it is missing there itself, right? For example, if I take my case, for example, we are giving training and consulting services, right? So we decided that okay, let's not put only a single trainer into the training. So we started putting two trainers instead of one. So one would be who would be more in terms of then we will have another expert who is from the industry and who is having the hands-on experience onto the equipment or the devices or the features that we are working on, right? And this is a very basic innovation which anybody would be expecting. If we are paying something to teach or to learn, we should be learning that will help us in our business, right? And we also started doing this thing that we can help you in your projects, right? So the trainer who was going there can also do consulting services for them, right? For 3 months, 6 months, and even longer time also. And we, from the sidekicks, we started doing the HR services, consulting services. So all these comes as a part of innovation itself, that okay, we can do this also. Why not to get into that business as well, right? So it should not be like you have to innovate something which is not even there. Sometimes even the basic things are also absent. So just pay attention to those details,
Yes, pay attention to the
those
details.
details, and which is missing. And if you can offer that, that can actually become your differentiator in terms of disrupting the entire
So as
market. Yeah.
we were discussing about that, how it is catering to the needs of the user, that is what is important. So, Mr. Saxena, let me ask you, can you share an experience where you demonstrated a strong ability to identify and capitalize on the market trends or the opportunities that resulted in value creation?
So I can recall about a new business opportunity which came to our mind. We run a platform through which we generate leads for our customers. So we decided why not we generate leads for ourselves, and we look for some opportunities to market a product, to sell a product which could be demanding. So those days, LED bulb, if you ask me,
Yes.
they used to cost 200 to 300 rupees per LED bulb. So those days we prepared a pack of 10 bulbs in a price of just 1,000 rupees, and we generated n number of leads through that, and with our brand name we sold almost 60,000, 70,000 bulbs in a month we sold. So we use that opportunity at the right time, at the right price, to the right audience. We worked hard, and we succeeded in this LED mission. Later on, these bulb prices came very down, so we had to move to new opportunity. But using the right opportunity at the right time, and
Yes.
catching that
And
is the
catching
key
that
which
is-
we use that
yes,
point of time.
Yes, great. So, Mr. Honey, what has been your experience in identifying the market trends and creating value?
So always be ahead of the time, I would say. So we started preparing ourselves for 5G. Start there in 2016-17 itself, right?
Oh.
And from that time itself, we started capitalizing it also, right? So you don't need to be always correct in the first go, right? Just starting itself is very important, right? So identifying the right trend at the right time. I was lucky enough because I have some family background. My brother was already telecom engineers, so I was getting the insight from the experts, start from the very beginning itself, right? So when I was in 8th standard, 10th standard, from that time itself, I know how to do a drive test and how to do an LOS survey kind of things. So it gives me a leverage, obviously, but it is not only limited to you, somebody being in your family or with your support system. So you can find out mentors who are there, right? So, and one important thing I would like to tell everybody is, if you have the right mindset, everybody in this entire world is ready to help you. You just need to ask for it, right? So this is where we find out a lot of problems. I have been in a situation where I'm asking help from some people whom I don't even think that they would help me. Sometimes even the competitors came forward and helped me out in the places where we have the problem. And the same things we reciprocate also, that we don't find anybody as a competitor but as a collaborator.
Wow,
Wherein we
great.
can do, and that actually builds a very strong network, because most of our customers are actually the different training companies itself, right, whom we are supporting.
Great. So collaboration is again
Collaboration
what
is, yes.
you are mentioning over here. Mr. Tausif, how have you identified the market trends and the opportunity for you, and then
So,
created value?
One major challenge which actually become one of the biggest opportunity for us is at the time of COVID vaccination, when government started and tried to vaccinate 100% of the
Population.
Indians. So there was a pockets in Bihar, Jharkhand, and in UP where uh, people were not ready to take the vaccine.
Yes,
Even
yes.
from there was gender in and around it, religious belief in and around
Yes,
it.
yes, yes.
There were so many things, and
Even age.
yeah, age, true, very true. So at that time, we got some opportunity where our client asked actually us to help them to get the vaccination done at doorstep for those people who are not ready to actually take the vaccination. So, and then we entered into it, and we brought lot of spiritual leaders, local leaders. We organized lot of events during that period. So, and then we finally able to vaccinate roughly around 5 lakh people in a span of 4 months only.
Great.
So that was really a very good success for us, and we were able to demonstrate a successful model at that stage.
So let me ask you only, do you think that continuous learning mindset to stay ahead of the curve and create value in a rapidly changing business landscape? So how do you cater to these things?
See, every time whatever you do, it's like कहते हैं जैसे करते हुए सीखना. It's nothing important than this. And whenever you are doing this, you are getting lot of new thing to deliver. And sometimes it's also help you to modify your product where you actually not fit for or you can say completely fit for the customers. So customization can also work, and it can only happen if you are open to learn and continuously you are adopting the learning practices. So for us, whenever we start any projects or any operation, we start with small bits, and we try to do only those things which is scalable, replicable, and that could be managed in a very organized setup. So that's the key thing which we always look forward whenever we do something.
So, Mr. Saxena, what is the role of the continuous learning ability that we talk about in the entrepreneurial journey?
See, in our organization, we continuously see and make sure that employees are skilled, rightly skilled with the latest technologies available. So whether we facilitate that through in-house training, encouraging knowledge sharing, or even sponsoring some kind of trainings which are required for any employee to perform any specific task. So that is there. Every Friday we have some kind of educational slots wherein we share knowledge with the team members. So that is the culture. If you build like that, then definitely the innovation and creativity automatically comes. So that's how we encourage that.
Okay, so that is great that every week you are holding these sessions so that it caters to the continuous learning. So, Mr. Honey, what is your take on this? On
I
continuous
actually come from a background of learning and development only.
Yes,
So,
yes.
it is very important for us to be in a continuous learning mode at all the time. And one key takeaway I would want you to take is always keep investing in yourself, in your learning, right? Because that is where I find, specifically in India, we have this challenge, right? Where people don't want to invest once they got a job, once they got into something.
Yes.
After that, spending money becomes very difficult. So if you are listening, you must and you should invest a small amount of money from your income and keep on learning every. It could be, if you're not interested in your own work domain that you're doing, you could be learning something which actually gives you interest, right? We never know, a hobby can actually become a full-time job for you in future, right? So keep investing in yourself, because that's the best kind of investment which is never going to go down, right? We can keep buying houses, properties, all those kind of stuff which will be tangible, right? But the learning that you are going to keep within yourself, it's always going to give you exponential results. And that is what I personally have believed. I keep on investing myself, right? So we buy the best of the books, right? Or any kind of resources. I don't even give a second thought to invest anything to get those resources within ourselves, right? And that actually help us, to keep always ahead of the game, wherever we are in.
So, Mr. Tausif, apart from the time, when COVID has happened and you did this vaccination drive in your area, so can you share another example, like you can describe a time when you successfully applied this growth mindset and to a challenge, and you have, actually led to bringing the creativity?
True. See, when I started Ilios Healthcare, it was completely a different mindset, and I never thought that I will become slightly big, where almost 100 people will work together. And so there was multiple opportunity which continuously hitting us, reaching us. So like management consulting was one of the thing. Another the skilling. So after doing some of the initial, you can say pilot within the Ilios Healthcare. So recently we have started Ilios Management Consulting Private Limited.
Okay.
So that has two different divisions. One is the Ilios Academy and another is the Management Consulting. So the two different team is leading the entire different businesses. But parallelly, I would like to highlight one thing here is whenever you are actually stretching yourself or doing something new is always a challenging and painful. It will require some sort of resource, not only in terms of money, but also your personal attention, your team attention, and everything will come. So it is really critical to understand when you are ready for it, and also monitor the every stage you take the steps. So every step should be correctly taken, and at the appropriate time should be given to that particular business. So like that. So this is what I did.
So great that monitoring every step is required. So
Yeah,
that's one
very,
of,
very much required.
yeah. So Mr. Saxena, can you share another example like the LED one that you have shared with us? So at the time when you have successfully applied this growth mindset and created value.
See, in our kind of business, regulatory hurdles are the biggest, business challenge we face. And when I talk about my business is divided primarily into text-based services and voice-based services. In text-based services, regulatory hurdles are too much, and margins are too low. So you need to continuously relook at your strategies and change it as per the demand of the time. So we were facing these kind of challenges. We sat, we brainstormed, and then we came out with a conclusion that uh, we should rather focus more on voice. So shift your focus from text to voice-based services where margins are high, where regulatory hurdles are less, and that's how we use this growth mindset to change our strategy. And now Fonada, and that's how Fonada brand. It's not name of the company; it's name of a brand. So it became a very popular brand in the market for voice-based solutions. So although we sell text-based services, but we are primarily seen in the market and known for our voice capabilities rather than the text capabilities, which also we carry.
Great, great. So, Mr. Honey, would you like to share some other example apart from how you have built upon the 5G thing and all that?
Yeah, one of the recent cases when COVID happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, 2014, 15, 16, 17, every single training that we were doing was actually the classroom training. So we used to travel from one place to another place. I could see, those were time when my kid was just, born, and I was continuously traveling from one place to another place, coming to India only to get a visa and then going to some other place. And suddenly you see all these trainings which was happening in the classroom has now transformed into online platform, right? Which is, I personally, initially was not in a favor of having any kind of trainings online because I can't see, I want always my trainings to be very, very interactive. And once you don't have anybody in front of you, you're even saying a joke and nobody is laughing at. So it feels very, very, something is missing, right? So we quickly adjust ourselves in a way that we could fit into this changed era of the training industry. And I could clearly see now, even if the COVID go off, right,
Yes,
the
still.
things are going to be as it is, right? We will be doing more of the online work instead of the classroom training. So this is one of the way where we put our progressive mindset, and we quickly adapt to those changes, right? Started doing online courses,
Mm-hmm.
started writing down a lot of books and created courses. And in fact, I in my free time created few Udemy courses also, and one
Okay.
of which became the bestseller in its
Wow.
category
Wow.
and remain in the top selling product for almost like 5-6 months.
So again, you have looked for the opportunity
Yes.
and created the
The
course on
values, right?
Udemy. So, Mr. Saxena, can you provide an example of how you have utilized your entrepreneurial mindset to build strong networks and collaborative partnerships ultimately that created value for both the parties, like your collaborators and you?
See, network comes from wherever you work or you do your education, wherever you interact with a new community. So, network comes from there. So, my biggest advice to anyone is that whenever you leave a forum or a company or any institute, leave on a good note. You never know that person at what point of time may be
Yes.
of your help
Yes.
later. So it's better always to part your ways on a good note, and that's how we followed that. And definitely the network of telecom, because my entire experience of almost 29 years has been into telecom industry only. So the kind of networking which we have got in the telecom sector is paying us till today. We are carrying the best pricing of the market. We are getting the best services because all our friends are sitting on the top
Yes.
positions
Yes.
across industry. So apart from that, the diversified industries also we are trying to collaborate, building partnerships. I am a member to business networking group, which is BNI group. My partner is also member to Rotary Club or different social clubs also. So every network, we are golf club members also. So golf network also,
Yes.
plays a lot of role in benefiting you at one stage at the other or the other.
Great. So, Mr. Tausif, how collaborations and networking has helped you?
So most of the thing already been
Yes.
covered, but see, being entrepreneur, you should be open and ready to give the space to other as well. So networking definitely comes from like your past work, or even either from your society where you lives, or from your colleges or anywhere. But it's more important to value those relationships and spend some time on it also.
Very right.
And giving the space to other also equally important. And definitely it's work. It's help you exactly at that time whenever you are helpless. So you have no clue what to do, but some of your friend or colleague can help you in a way that entire problem will be taken care of.
Yes. So, networking, collaborating, coming up with your problems, speaking to the
You
people
cannot
about the-
actually run a business without these. So I think this is the most important thing which comes without investing any money.
Huh, huh. So, Mr. Honey, you have already spoke about how your competitors are also, your partners in a way. So, can you share any example where your competitor has become a collaborator, or
Yeah,
you
always,
have networked with
yeah,
them?
exactly. I, started as a consultant from them. So instead of creating a competition, we did an agreement. Okay, I'll bring my expertise. I'm gonna build my own team and build that expertise. So you be with your customers. Let me be with my, consultants, and let's create a ecosystem which is valuable for both the parties, right? So whenever you are going to do any kind of collaboration or any kind of value chain addition, so whenever you want to contribute somebody, right, contribute in a way which will be helpful for both the parties, right?
Yes.
So in a forum wherever you are speaking and you are trying to do any kind of networking, you should be, everybody will be interested to see a person who has the solution mindset, right?
Yes.
So if you can solve a problem, be in any of the forum, you could be in your open house of your office, and if you are speaking about the solutions, right, there I know a lot of people who can talk about the problems in the most
Yeah.
fanciest way, right, possible, right? They can describe the problem. I've attended so many meetings wherein there are multiple people who can describe the problem in a way that it is totally unsolvable. If a single person in
Comes
that
up with-
forum
yeah.
comes with the solution,
Yeah.
right, or at least talking about how the solution is going to happen, I'm sure the best person sitting there, he will definitely notice you, that you have a solution for it, and you will never be unnoticed, right? Everybody is going to value you for the kind of work that you are doing. So make sure that whenever you are doing any kind of networking, you go with the solution mindset rather than a
Yes.
question mindset or asking for help. How you can offer the help, that is more important actually.
So, from all of you, what I could find out is that opportunities will come to you, but at the same time, failures are bound to happen. Obstacles will come your way. So, how during such times when you are facing obstacles, or you're facing hurdles, or there are some failures, so how have you kept yourself motivated or resilient to the situation? So, Mr. Tausif, what is your take on this?
So for me, it's like started when I मतलब जब से अकल हुई तब से ही ना सुनने का आदत पड़ गया है घर में भी. So it is quite common. So definitely you feel upset when you heard no, even from your mother.
Yeah.
So we learn from the house, कह सकते हैं घर से ही सीखा. And then if you are fail sometime, it's nothing wrong in it. So it's completely fine, and it should be completely okay. Definitely you will have a lot of learning out of it. So take those, and it will help you to start or to in a better way, in a better business where you can actually fit into. And it's never mean if you are fail, it's your problem, and the particular that product has problem. it could be any factor, even sometimes external factor also play very crucial role, and you cannot do anything despite of having a very good product, innovative ideas, and everything is at the same time you fail because of the either because of regulatory framework, or maybe the situation is not allowed to deliver that. So, but it's you, and you should be open to it, and I think it's completely okay if you are fail, and if I am fail, I'm completely happy with it, and I will do something new.
So you take learnings
Yeah.
basically. So, Mr. Saxena, what strategies have you adopted, to be resilient and motivated even in difficult times?
See, obstacles and failures, they are bound to happen at any stage of the business, whether you have grown to certain level or not. So these kind of issues will keep on coming. So whenever I face these kind of issues, obstacles or failures, I just close my eyes and remember the time, remember the stage where I started.
Yeah.
So even if I fail now, I will not be coming to that level where I started. I will still be even better than that. So that keeps me, motivated to fight against the obstacles and move forward. So just my only take is or advice to everyone is that believe in yourself, and and your capabilities, and these obstacles are not going to harm you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Honey, what is your take on that? What strategies have you adopted? Because I'm sure you must have been denied trainings by, some of the organizations, or maybe these denials could be in continuous manner. So, how have you, been resilient about it?
So I, very recently discovered this, and I would like to put that as a very important point. Work on your health.
Work on your health. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have a healthy body, you will be able to handle all types of obstacles, right? You should have a healthy body, you should have a healthy mind. If you are continuously working on keeping yourself better, fit, you'll be able to handle all type of obstacles, right? So I very recently discovered this, and I can proudly say now more than 150 days I've been a part of the 5 a.m. club.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I've been continuously waking up at on time, eating my food on time, and doing all the things which are keeping the body healthy, right?
Yes.
Because being a small business owner, you tend to do a lot of things on your own, and that entire stress comes onto you.
Yeah.
So
Very
if
right.
you have given priorities to your own self, right, your own mental peace, your own body, things will started becoming better and better every single time, and you will feel that small obstacles are actually now just a small piece of
So we say healthy mind rests in a healthy body.
Right.
So this is just like that. Yes, if your body is fit, then probably you'll be able to take up a lot of stress.
A lot
and
of
all
stress,
that.
yes.
So that's a really important point that you have mentioned, that you need to be healthy. So apart from does empathy and remaining customer centric, this thinking, does it play a role in developing an entrepreneurial mindset, and how it contributes to value creation in a business context?
Definitely, customer centricity is always the key of any kind of business that you are trying to run, right? So, understanding what exactly the customer is looking for and creating a differentiation around it is going to make your business very successful, right?
So can you share any example where you have empathized with your customers? And
yes, always,
created value?
we always tend to provide a post training support, right? We are always available, right? So what I have done is, instead of creating different forums for different trainings that I do, right? So I asked one of my trainees to create a small group, and wherever I'm traveling, I'm asking people to join the same group itself. Now that group has become more than 10,000 people. Wow. And everybody is asking question, and then they are getting solutions. So it becomes like a automatically running ecosystem, right? Wherein I am also not contributing all the time, but there are people who are asking questions, there are people who are giving answers. So somebody is looking for a resource. So it becomes like an ecosystem wherein everything is happening on its own, right? So that is something which is become a very important part. And then other examples I've already given, right? That we actually sit with the customer and, okay, let's show us how you are working and how you can make your things better. right? So we are always open for that kind of support, post training support, and these become our collaborators later on also.
Yes, great.
So most of our consultants who are working with us like now are sometimes or in the past was one of our trainees also whom we trained earlier,
Okay.
right? So
So, Mr. Saxena, do you also think that empathy and
Yes,
being
yes,
customer
yes.
centric helps?
Being centric and empathy towards the customers, not even customers, towards your employees and the suppliers. That
Yes.
is most important. There are three core pillars of any successful business: customer, employee, and your suppliers. So you need to take care of all three pillars. So when I talk about customer centric, you must build a culture of comes first kind of culture in your organization. When I talk about my company, just giving an example, the service agreement which we sign with any customer, it carries a escalation matrix wherein level wise escalation points are given till director level, till co-founder level, and the mobile numbers along with mobile numbers and email IDs. So we are there available all the time to serve any customer in case things are not happening.
Great.
So escalations are reaching up to that level in case things are not happening. But very rare occasions we get to, because our employees, they are well trained enough to take care of customer. And when I talk about employees and suppliers, uh, one should be ready to share, believe in sharing wealth with your employees and the suppliers. It should not be our own success, it should be the success of the entire ecosystem. And the standard of living of your employees and your suppliers, if it is not improving, that means you're not growing. Your growth is temporary, it's not sustainable in the long term.
Wow, great
That's-
piece of advice from you, sir. So, Mr. Tausif, what is your take on this? Empathizing and with your customer and having customer centric mindset.
Again, two, three things which I would like to highlight. First is like retention is always easier than acquiring new
Yeah.
customer. It's well known facts. And for me, like millions of people in and around the world, and I am having only thousand of customers.
Yeah.
So they are equally important. Like if I have to find out these millions, these people from the millions of people, it is really difficult to find out. So we really feel blessed when we have our customer in our offices. And sometimes your smiling face is enough for them. They are not asking for money or any kind of special services every time. Even if you are happy and talking to them is nicely is more
Yes,
than
that
enough,
is-
and they are keep coming to you.
Yeah. So
And
most of the
that's
problem gets resolved if
true.
you are listening to them.
True,
That
very
is-
true. And it's very, very important to retain your customer and serve them well. So whatever we are here because of our customer only.
Yes, yes, that is correct. So here we come to an end of this panel discussion. I'm really thankful to all three of my panelists who have given thought-provoking insights and who have given you a lot of practical examples, like they have shared your experience with you in terms of how you can build up this mindset and create value for your customers by becoming a successful entrepreneur. And that is what is the mantra for becoming a successful entrepreneur, that you have to work on your mindset and empathize with your customers, understand what are the requirements of your customers. That's also going to help you in sustaining with the business.